What is everyone? How is everyone doing? How many games are we in? Feels like about 40. But after months and months and months and months, we've won a game of football. Not only that, we've beaten a side who do not lose in Ipswich Town. Their record, especially at home, in the last year is honestly phenomenal. I'll show you it in a minute. But Leeds United have won a game of football. We scored 4 goals at Portman Road, which doesn't happen. Teams struggle to get 1. I'll show you that. Let's get into the ratings. Let's get into it. Crazy game. We come away with a win and it feels so good. Let's get into it right now. The ratings and analysis. Let's go. I just want to show you guys this before we get into the ratings. Their record, by the way, Ipswich's record at home is insane. Look at this. So this is us here. Losing at home 4-3 to Leeds United. Let's look at their previous home games. So obviously they beat Stoke this season. 1-2-0 in the Cup. Yeah. Friendlies. Let's look at last year. So these are all the friendlies. At home, 1-6-0. At home, 1-2-1. At home, 1-6-0. At home, 1-4-0. At home, 1-2-0. 3-0. 4-0. 4-0. 0-0 against Burnley, who won the league. 4-0 Morecambe. 1-1. 4-1. 3-0. 2-1. You see what I'm saying? Their record at home is insane. The fact that we scored more than 1 goal is a real good coup that Leeds United can use as fuel to push us forward. We're playing a good side here. We were playing a really good side. So yeah, let's get into the ratings. Playing a really good side who had a really strong winning mentality at home. A team that didn't concede goals. We just put 4 past them. That crowd, we're not used to that. That shows a lot how far we've come. There's still a lot to go. But Ilan Meslier, today was a bit different for Ilan. I feel like it, like I said, came from more crosses. They were punched a lot of the time, but I don't mind it if the areas are good. If you clear your lines, punching is absolutely fine. You can actually create attacks through punches. Communication for the goal is a question mark, however. I don't know whether he shouted for it. I imagine he did because Rodon left it, which would suggest Ilan Meslier has shouted for the ball, didn't get there. That is a judgment on his part. We know the situation which led to it, and we will get into that very soon with Cody Drameh. But I give Ilan a 6.5 today. I thought he did a decent job in between the sticks. His distribution looks a lot more assured today. Fullbacks, and we'll start from left to right for those people who don't know who some of the players are. I can't see it. Shout out to my dad. So we're going to start from left to right. So we'll start with Sam Byram here. Look, I can't give him more than 5 because he came off quite early in the game. Didn't have enough to show what he could do. I thought he looked good, but came off injured. We'll move on from Sam. Nothing much. I hope he's all right. I hope he recovers well. We knew this was coming sooner rather than later with his record. But yeah, we're going to Luke Ayling. And I'm bored of talking about the same people every week, so we'll be quick on Ayling. I give a 6 out of 10. I thought he was eager to progress forward. I liked that. But also the downside to that is, as you saw with the goal, he got caught out. But for me, and it's so frustrating that we cannot see, because apparently I've been told anyway that it was offside and quite clearly offside. And actually, the guy who beat him, the guy who got in behind him, was actually the striker who the broadhead, the left winger, actually tucked inside, and the striker often drifted out to the left. But what he did was he played in between the centre back and the right back. So he didn't beat him in terms of in behind him. He was already in front of him. It was in the middle of the communication of deciding whose man it was. But by the time that had been decided, he was already in behind. We tried to play an offside. Whether it was or not, we don't know. But he got in behind Luke Ayling. It's not the same as Cardiff. It's a completely different scenario, and actually one that's a lot more difficult to defend. So I'm not as critical at that. Having said that, the thing about Luke Ayling is he's too eager sometimes to get into tackles and push forward and be aggressive, and I like that, but he's not in terms of athletics, whatever you want to call it. Athletically, he's not. Is that a word? Don't know. He's not the same player he was, and that's obvious because he's growing older. That is happens to every single footballer, and it will on this pitch. We love Archie Gray, but if he's here till he's 35, he won't be the same player he is now, you know. And Luke Ayling a few years ago would have been that player who would have gotten there every time. And 50-50s, he would have gotten there first. But it's just 2 or 3, you know, like a metre off, a little bit off, a few inches off. And it's affecting, you know, the way in which he looks on the pitch, because it looks like he's getting beat really easily. But that's just down to his mindset and what he does as a player. He tries to intercept, and he could have done that a few years ago, but he's struggling it now. So for me, I still think we need to slowly progress forward in the right back position now, given his age, given certain performances. I still like him around the squad for sure. Very good around the squad. He's been an excellent professional for Leeds United. But a young player like Jed Spence, who's got a lot to prove, someone like that can come in this side and be dominant on that right. I think that's what we need. 6 out of 10 for Luke. Contrast here. We'll talk about Shaq. And I keep saying this, I keep reiterating the same things about Jamie Shackleton. Squad player. Squad player. And that is not a disservice. Jamie Shackleton's career has been very impressive from anyone looking in. He plays for Leeds United. He's done very well for himself. And as a squad player in a side that wants to be promoted to the Premier League, you have a big role in that. And we saw that today, and how vital he can be in certain times in games where it looks difficult, when you need that player to come in and do a job for you, just like Dallas used to be. Dallas was that man. And obviously Shackleton's not reached the Premier League levels that Dallas has. But I'm just saying, when you need that player to come in, Shackleton can do that job. But today I thought he did it a little bit extra, a little bit of sauce in the performance today. I love the way he drove forward with it. He looked a bit more confident. The pass for the assist was beautiful. His boot went 26 metres, which was phenomenal. You know, what a man. I gave him a 7 out of 10. He changed the shape of the game when he came on. They still tried to play that ball over the top. Even 1v1 defending and man for man, he was really good for me. So I'm really impressed with Shaq. He impacted the game and changed the game as a squad player. That's what you want him to do. And that's what he'll do a lot this season. We do need a left back. 100%. Fullbacks now are our biggest weakness. We need to address them ASAP. We'll talk about Cody Drameh, which is right next to me here. When I do these videos, this is a match rating. This is not necessarily my opinion on players. This is not necessarily what I think of them. This is how I think they performed and what that could mean for the team, right? I give him a 3 because in the short period he came on, I think it's fair to say, and I'm sure Cody would agree, it was disastrous. There's a lot of reasons for this. Some of the player's fault. Some for me were not ideal for the player. Now, whether Cody works for the future of Leeds United, whether all these coaches not picking him is down to him, is down to the style, I don't know. They're the facts. The coaches have not been picking Cody Drameh. They've been sending him on loan for whatever reason. People say the agenda's towards Luke Ayling, but you're telling me all these coaches do is ridiculous. It makes zero sense to me. Daniel Farke is not the type of player, not the type of coach who works like that. He'll play the player who's playing better in training, who's performing better. However, I put here, really struggled at left back. That's it for me. He came on at left back. He's not a left back, he's right back. Now, Jamie Shackleton came on at left back and did really well. And that shows the difference in the attributes Jamie Shackleton shows as a player. He's comfortable doing that. And that's why Jamie Shackleton is above Cody Drameh now, even as a left back. Cody Drameh has had really good loans. He has. And he's played well there. I watched a little bit of Luton. I thought he was okay in a good side. I thought he did his job fine. I don't think he did anything spectacular, which people are suggesting for me. The reason I'm not going to go in on him is because, one, the coach has put him in that position, which he's not. That's not his position. That's simply, like we keep saying with Rutter, you see what happens when he's up top and there's no players around him. He's a completely different player. But the mistakes he made were quite basic, and it was coming, and you could see a minute before he did the same thing and he got away with it. And he's done it again. And for me, this shows a real lack of understanding the system and understanding the context of what you're meant to do that moment in that game. And I know he's at left back, but these are just simple football things. The pass was terrible. It was on his right foot. It wasn't a good enough pass. It was unsure. The other time he hesitated on the ball. I can maybe understand that one being on the opposite side. But as a footballer, you've got to do better in these scenarios. It's as simple as that. And he didn't do that, Cody Drameh. And I'm yet to see in a Leeds shirt him really stamp his authority. And he's had a long time to do it. He has had little chances. He trains every day. These are people that people don't see, that people don't talk about. I want all of our players to play well, and I've always liked, when Cody Drameh was 21, I liked his talent. He was a really talented player. He stood out there. But he's not that player in senior football for Leeds United. He hasn't been. Hopefully, and what we all need, if he's staying at Leeds, wherever he goes, I don't know, this talk of both. If he's at Leeds United, he needs to understand the performance and improve and really push himself. Because young players need these moments sometimes to really understand the situation they're in. Like Rutter had his poor performances, but today showed that he is a player. And Cody Drameh has got to use this to motivate him to do better. It's as simple as that. I'll move on. We need 2 fullbacks. That is vital. The centre-backs, and again for me, having watched it back, originally, right, so I'll start from the left. We'll go over there. Rodon. Start from the left. Joe Rodon. To me, I thought he was really good again. Just the way in which he understands everything. And what I mean by that is, look at him on the ball. He always seems to pick the right pass. He knows when to go back to the keeper. When he's gone back to the keeper, he's quickly back into position to receive the ball in an area where he can progress it forward. His tackling and his timing of his tackles is phenomenal. I genuinely don't think he's missed a single one. Really, really dominant in tackling. Really good. The timing of it, the blocks, the last ditch, the marking when they cut one across the box and he just gets his leg in front 2 or 3 times to save shots on goal. Really good player. He looks a lot more safer on the ball. Daniel Farke spoke about it. He was scared when he went forward with the ball last week. Looked a lot more safe on the ball. But I do think 1 or 2 times we could have used a little bit more movement from him going forward. But if he's been told not to do that by the manager, that's fair enough. I was really impressed with him today again. In the air, I thought it was good. And you got to understand with these 2 centre-backs, they're being exploited by the lack of defensive work from the full-backs at times. So they've got decisions to make. Do they go to the winger? Do they stay in position? Do they mark the man in the middle? They have choices. And that's a lot of things going through your mind in a quick amount of time. And I thought they dealt with it, for the most part, really well. Pascal Struijk, again, a little bit. There was a few times today, having watched it back. When I first watched it, I didn't think there were, but there were a few times where he did make a few mistakes on the ball with his passing. 1 or 2 tackles he missed. Ground duels he did lose 1 or 2. He did. I rewatched it. I gave him 7.5. I knocked it down a little bit, but I still think he looked the same guy. Just 1 or 2 little things in there, but fairly solid for me. Good partnership. I really like this partnership. Let's get some fullbacks back then, and we'll be laughing. Midfield 2. I'm not going to spend too much time on these 2. I want to get to the attacking players. Ampadu, I give a 7. Archie is a 17-year-old that's playing like a 25-year-old. Brings balance like Anakin Skywalker. Was meant to. He was the chosen one, and he's the chosen one. He's really good in it. Just bring balance to it. Defending, attacking, the transitions, his speed, the way he covers ground, his tackling's good. Zero fear, what a player. Ethan Ampadu, the way he just wins every second ball. He wins a tackle, he stops counter-attacks. On the ball, his quality. These 2 guys are consistent again. Solid 7, 6.5. Can't go wrong with these 2. Brilliant. Archie Gray is an outstanding talent. What a young man. Right, here we go. Let's get to this bit now. We'll start from the left and we'll talk about my boy, Georginio Rutter. I did a video on Georginio recently. I know a lot of you guys liked it, and I appreciate all the support on that. I did crazy. And that's because a lot of us Leeds fans, we want to see more. We rate this guy. We like him. We like his personality. We like his energy. We like his smile, the way he speaks. Calm nature, and we like it. We like what he brings. We like his skills. We just wanted to see it more. And he did that today. He did. I don't know if you've seen my video, but he ditched the sleeves like I told him to. And he was Georginio without the sleeves. Short sleeve Georginio is a different breed. And he's proven that today. Or yesterday, whenever you're watching this. Played with freedom in that role with Pirro. 4-4-2 at times. It wasn't a 4-2-3-1, it was more of a 4-4-2 at times. Especially defensively and in transition. Them 2 playing along each other, one would just drop a little deeper at times, and the guy who dropped a little deeper who've had a bit of freedom to run around. Georginio did that, and he was really effective with it. His goal was phenomenal, and you could see he just looked a lot more confident playing. Wonder why that was. He just looked a lot more confident, a lot more free, better players around him, less pressure on him, more options. Joe Perreault linking up with him. It was brilliant to see. Georginio Rutter for me was the player I want to see. That's the guy I want to see. And there's less pressure on him to constantly perform at that level because we have other players who can do that. But he did that today, and he stood out. When everyone was talking about the front four, everyone was talking about Joe Perreault, Gnonto, Sinisterra, some of it rightfully so. Rutter said, I'm one of these guys as well. I couldn't be happier for him. I genuinely couldn't. I just want to see a bit more consistency now. Let's keep going with this. Look, I'm not expecting the heights of this performance every week, but show us what you've got, Georginio. We know what you've got. When you run with the ball, when you take guys on, playing with that confidence, the way to pass. Give us a bit more of that, and Leeds fans will love you. And they already like you a lot. They really do. They will love you. What a guy. 8 out of 10. We'll talk about the debutant behind me, Joe Perreault. Yeah, he's a good player. And in fairness, people, me and Andre, and I think Oscar as well, spoke about how he's not perfect for the system. And you can see how we have to adapt with him because he's not a quick mobile striker who will run around a lot, chase everything. You can see that. That is obvious, and that's what we meant. But what we did also say is he's a brilliant player and he will bring a lot to any team he's in because he's good at football. Right, and that's what Daniel Farke said in his thing. At the end of the day, you forget the stats. He scores goals. That's what he did today. Right position, right time. I love the way he linked it up with the midfielders. Quick 1-2s, quick balls out wide, getting in the box. No silly business. Getting in right positions. It'll get better. The only worry with the front four we had, for me, the only worry in this game with the front four was the lack of... I just think Ipswich had too much time on the ball deeper, and that's down to the pressing of the wingers and Sinisterra and Rutter, Perreault. I think they got bypassed a little too easy, and there was a little passive. So Daniel Farke will have to figure out that balance, because then the two centre mids in Gray and Ampadu had a lot of fire coming at them, which allowed the teams then to obviously go long for the fullbacks, to the wingers over our fullbacks, because they had that time. And they had too much time, too much. We have to figure out a way, and that'll come with the time. Look, Perreault's going to have a full week of training now before the next game. So them little nuances, understanding whose man's who should we press, that'll come into it. And it has to, because the balance wasn't right for me in this game. They had too much of the ball, and that for me was down to, in the second half, we were too passive. We came out way too passive. That was obviously, you could tell we dropped deeper to stop that long ball over the top, which did work, but then they piled more pressure on us. Didn't create a lot of huge chances, really, to be honest with you. Had a lot of little half chances, had some chances where they could have had a shot, a lot of pressure. But we did all right. We dealt with it all right for me. But yeah, we're going to have to work them out for sure. But these two guys were brilliant today. What a player Joel Perreault is. The final two, the guy under me it's Sinisterra in it. But we'll talk about Wilfried Gnonto first. Now forget the reasons why. This is a difficult situation for him because he's coming into an environment and a situation where he knows he might get stick, and he knows and he's guilty for what's happened, right? And I liked what I saw from him in terms of him as a person, He played like he usually does. He played with a smile on his face, celebrating normally, shushing the Ipswich fans, which is brilliant. And this is what's weird about Wilfried Gnonto. He's the actual player. When he plays, he just looks like he wants to play football, and I believe he does. But then the whole situation makes you question that at times. But you have to understand the age of this man and the influence other people have on him. And again, he made these decisions, hence why he was punished by the club. So that's the player's decision. Farke punished him for that reason, and he said this in his press conference. I saw a picture of him crying at the end of the game, and I don't know why that was, but this is a lot of stuff to have directed towards you as a young guy, and he's going to have to learn from this experience, and I really hope he does, and hope he does something about that. Don't know what that is, that's not for me to say. He has to learn from what's happened, and to fully move on, things have to change with how that happened for sure. All we ask Wilfried Gnonto to do, and all I ask personally, is for him to go on that pitch and play football. as a young, energetic man, full of energy, with talent, and he did that today. I was really impressed with Wilfried Gnonto. This is the player he is. We just want you to play football, Gnonto. That's all we want. We just want you to play football for Leeds while you're here. Forget about, just play for us. Just play well. That's all we ask, Leeds fans. Genuinely all we ask. Play well, play with a heart and passion, a bit of quality. We don't ask for too much. And he did that today. Keep it up. Because the fans loved you. They really did. And now you're in a situation where you play for Leeds anyway, so got to move on with it. You'll get the boos at home, I imagine. That's going to be difficult for him mentally to deal with. He's going to have to deal with it, though, because that's the situation he's put himself in. Him and his representatives, the people who represent him, that's on them as well. But you keep playing well, they will forgive you. Leeds fans will forgive you because they're reasonable people, most of them. Especially the ones in the ground. Forget Instagram, forget Twitter. The ones in the grounds are reasonable people. And if you impress them and do well, they will clap you and sing your name, I think. Sinisterra is too good for this league. What can I say? I'm sorry, guys. I hate to be this guy, but he's not going to be here by the end of the window. It's too good. I'm sorry. He's too good. He's too good. He was playing 60% today. He didn't need to play any. And again, his pressing was terrible. His tracking back was not good. But going forward, he's an absolute joke of a player. Too good for this league. He made their defenders given up when he's run past him. I saw him put his head down. He's given up. What's the point with this guy? He's too good. He's unplayable. And this is an 8 because this is a Cine 8. Because he's even better than that. He's not going to be here. He's too good for this league. Enjoy him while you've got him. Hopefully he'll play next week and he can get us a quick goal before he leaves. If not, thank you for your services, Cine. He's too good, guys. I'm sorry. What a player. Outstanding player. Yeah, we'll get on to the last bit now. I know, shout out to Jack who mentioned to do a manager thing. I'm not going to rank him. I'm sorry, but simply because I don't know more than him. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Farke a C today, got these wrong. I don't know if he got them wrong. Like, in the minute, in the hour, during the game. I don't know that. But I will give what I think he did. I'm not going to rank it. You guys can do that. But yeah, good suggestion. Thank you. Appreciate it. He dealt with a difficult week really well. We spoke about this on Joe's show and all that. The way he dealt with this week is perfect. Professional, kind of a bit of a father figure, but punished them if it needed to be. Everything was done in a good and right way from Daniel Farke, and he got it spot on. And that allowed the players to be back in the team and performing for us today. And those players contributed to a big win for us. He dealt with it all really well for me. God front four. Don't know what God means. Good. I think I was meant to say good front four, or the word godly. 4-4-2, little slight adjustment there off the ball. Went 4-4-2, which allowed a bit more freedom from Georginio Rutter. Yeah. Good shape today. I thought we did really well. There's still the issues, like I said, a lot to work on, and this is off the ball and understanding the midfielder's role or the winger's role or the number 10's role in pressing, how we press more effectively, how we do it to a way where they can't just make 3 passes and they're in on our goal, because that did happen a few times, which didn't happen in the last few weeks. So we need to refine that balance, and Daniel Farke now has to work on that a lot. Because with these players going forward, there's not much to work on. Just tell them to keep doing what they're doing. But when we're not on the ball, there's a lot to work on in terms of shape. I still think we got exposed on the wings. We got exposed with long balls over the top. We got exposed by Luongo having too much time. But yeah, and in hindsight, probably shouldn't have put Drameh at left back. Should have said Shaq, but he'll know that from now. He's learnt that about the player. Can't play there in this system. Shackleton did a good job. That we'll learn from. Good game. I'm absolutely buzzing with the win. Let me know what you guys think. It's a longer one, but we had a good chat. There was a lot to speak about. I appreciate all the support from you absolute legends, and please keep it up. If you don't mind giving one of them, that'd be nice, and subbing would be alright as well. Shout out to you a lot. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the performance. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Hopefully some player videos coming, right? Peace.